Good morning. My name is Alain Vidal. I work for CGIR, which is the largest international agricultural research organization working in the developing world. And I'm here in Evian as acting term chair for the Committee on Food Security and Nutrition.
And good morning, my name is Giulia Baldi and I work for the World Food Programme, which is an agency of the United Nations working on food security and nutrition in more than 80 countries. And I'm the Vice Term Chair for the Joint Committee for Food Security and Nutrition and Global Demographics.
Okay, so this year on our plate, we are benefiting from a conjunction of things happening. First, there's recently been a report published that will be launched in 2 weeks in Rome by the high level of panel of experts of the Committee on World Food Security, which is the first in history, I would say, report that points at the whole food system, including the food supply chain, the food environment of consumers and the consumer behaviors, trying to look at how transform this food system towards a more healthy system that would address the triple burden of malnutrition that combines the 1 billion people who are undernourished, the 2 billion people who are suffering malnutrition, for whom there are micronutrients missing, which we in our jargon call hidden hunger, and also the 2 billion people across the world, both north and south now, who are overweight or obese. So that's one stream that we are considering, which is now in our minds, and which is a quite innovative approach considering the whole food system. And at the same time, because we are here at G20Y, which is a gathering of more private sector companies, there has been earlier this year during the World Economic Forum an initiative called FRESH, launched by both the EAT Foundation and the World Business Council on Sustainable Development. FRESH standing for Food Reform for Sustainability and Health, which actually addressed the same issues overall on the food system, but seen from the private sector, looking at business opportunities, looking at the transformation that are needed for business, and adding a layer which looks at the sustainability of the system, considering that our food system, what we eat, is the single human activity that affects the most the environment, including climate. So those are the two opportunities, I would say, for our group to consider. And this is what we are presently working on with our committee. And Giulia, you will tell more about what our committee is made of and how we're working.
Yeah. Actually, the group this year, but also in previous year, in the joint committee is really diverse, because we actually have people from the private sector, business sector, in general food sector, but not only food sector actually this year, and also public sector. So and from Argentina. And then international organizations like such as the World Food Programme, think tanks, so academia and research. And this actually creates a very interesting mix of perspective and opinions and ideas that are then also stimulated by a speaker. And this year we had a representative of the WFP Innovation Accelerator in Munich that actually is bringing also ideas on how technology and involvement of business with the public sector actually can trigger innovations along the food systems to actually lead to zero hunger and accelerate the progress to zero hunger and actually better, healthy, more sustainable diets. And we got really interesting examples on how blockchain technologies has been used to improve cash programs, for example, or how apps can be used to improve, for example, the capacity of smallholder farmers to understand market signals and market price trends and other market information, and quicker. And other examples, and I think this has stimulated the discussion on also concrete opportunities and actionable strategies that then can be incorporated in the perspectives.
So the way we've been working so far, and will continue to work today, is we are looking at those two initiative streams, I would say, the one from the Committee on World Food Security and the one from the private sector, the World Business Council on Sustainable Development, and looking at what, with the diversity of people we have around the table, what are the sort of obstacles we see, but also how these obstacles can be transformed into opportunities. And looking at very different cases, looking at the developed world, but also looking at emerging countries. We have people from Thailand. We have a committee member from Argentina. We have people who know Mexico quite well. So we have a quite diversity, but we also are digging on what would happen if we were trying to implement that transformation in Africa, or in Europe, or in the US. So trying to see really how make a sort of virtual road test of, okay, these approaches are nice. One of our members was saying, yeah, but we've seen such things written for many decades now and nothing has changed. Well, probably the new thing is for both these initiatives is that it is looking at the food system as an integrated system, and this is probably new because this goes from the fork and the consumer behavior and choices to back to the farm, and what the producers can actually do and still have and possibly increase their income, also benefit from growth. So I think those are the things we're looking at, and of course we are also trying to see whether we could suggest innovative business models that could be captured by businesses depending on where they work, depending on their market, depending on where they stand on the food supply chain, and it ranges from the farmers to the transformers to the media who are advertising the food that we're eating. So those are really those different business models that we are going to explore. So and Giulia, you will probably say how we plan to impact outside these G20Y community.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of impact, I mean, the nature itself of this committee has also determined the thinking on how we want to kind of disseminate and try to leverage different platforms. One, and it's a two-stream. One that is more tailored at businesses, and we've identified a platform called the World Business Council for Sustainable Development that actually combines different types of private sector companies and also some of research think tanks, and it's that then can influence the business sector in relation to actually sustainable diets, and actually they have been promoting the fresh initiatives as well. And then the other stream instead targets more policymakers and the public sector through the Council for World Food Security that is under ECOSOC and FAO, and is actually gathering different UN agency development partners, but then is actually targeted or tailored at policymakers on food security and nutrition. So that's these are the two main areas.